co-main event, Jose Aldo. Whew. The King of Rio was fighting in Fortaleza. I think his first ever fight was in Fortaleza, so this was a big deal for him. Of course, the narrative about Jose was that maybe he was slipping a beat. He lost to Conor McGregor famously. Then the 2 losses to Max Holloway. Prior to that, a very dominant champion, and people, maybe kind of thought, or you could be forgiven for thinking maybe his best days were behind him. But he came back against Jeremy Stephens, ate Jeremy Stephens' best shot, and then hit him with this beautiful body shot, put him out of there in style. And then against Renato Moicano, I mean, for those people that aren't too aware, I mean, he's fantastic. He's had some amazing performances. I mean, he looked incredible against Cub Swanson. Many fights. I mean, he gave Brian Ortega a really good fight. It was a very even fight. I think it was the 3rd round. He shot him for a takedown and got caught in a guillotine. And many people expected Moicano to give Jose at least a good run for his money. And I think it was round 2. Aldo, man, Jesus Christ. He proved he still got it. Proved he's still one of the very absolute monster, man. What did you think, Lewis?
Great performance. And when you sort of look at it, it's very easy to say, yeah, dude, his best days are behind him. But then you look at it, it's Max and it's Conor. The 2 best of the best he's lost to. And once again, you see these guys. I said this about Anderson Silva coming up with his fight this weekend against what's his name? Adesanya. The style there, it's like any given day, he can fucking crack you and knock you out. So to count Jose Aldo of any fight, I don't care. He could fight Max Holloway again. I wouldn't bet on that fight because Jose Aldo is such a killer and he has such killer instincts where if he hits you and lands, he could finish you at any given moment. And it's an interesting position for him to be in, because he's lost to the 2 best.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, with Max Holloway, to be fair, they did have a rematch, and the fight went down both times pretty similarly,
Same round, in the same minute of the same round, yeah.
Oh, it was? Wow.
Yeah,
it started off, Aldo was doing okay, and then just as the fight progressed, Holloway was just inching away, and then eventually the lead was so much, Aldo couldn't keep up, and got finished in the same way, as you say, ground and pound on the floor, got dropped, followed it up. With Conor, of course, only 1 fight, and now I think Aldo he has mentioned he would love to have another fight against Conor at lightweight. Again, no shortage of opponents for Conor McGregor, but I'd like to see that one. I'd like to see that one. I'm really intrigued to see. Of course, it was 1 shot and it was beautiful for Conor. Incredible work. You can never take that away from him. And I won't have any of this lucky punch nonsense. You throw a punch, you mean to throw it, it lands, it hits the target, you get the fucking win. There's no luck.
It's not luck.
It is what it is.
But 13 seconds against Jose, we're good.
But can you replicate that a second time round? Can you do that? I don't think you can.
Especially considering that Conor is going, he's coming off of a losing streak now, and he's lost a few fights in a row, and he's not, the confidence is a little different, whereas Jose Aldo, his confidence is probably at an all-time high. This is the best time in the world for Jose Aldo to fight Conor McGregor. I know I guess they had mentioned doing it at 155, or that was the narrative online that I saw, which would make sense because I guess Conor doesn't want to come back to 145. I will scream it from the rooftops. I think that's the move for Conor. I know you think he'll never go back down. Why would he ever go back down? He just, all the data's there. He's undefeated at 145. He's got wins over all the best guys at 145. He could be the king. Either way, Conor McGregor, there's a lot of interesting matchups that are being talked about, none of which are Khabib, by the way. Conor's really not trying. Conor wanted to run it back with Nate Diaz. You lose to Nate Diaz, obviously. Run it back. Khabib, yeah, maybe we'll go and we'll get a cowboy fight. That seems a little more fun.
It's funny. We'll get into the main event in a minute, but that seems like a good way to segue into Khabib's comments regarding the Nevada State Athletic Commission's fine. Harrington, have you got it there? Can you pull it up? Because I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I thought it was really good. I mean, Khabib is a very, very moral person. He isn't a guy that's going around, acting out. He was pushed to a certain degree. still, he's accountable for his actions. He's accountable for what he caused afterwards, and he was punished. $500,000, in my opinion, was absolutely ridiculous, way over the top, far too much. And I just thought the line that he said, the Nevada Commission want to lecture me or morally judge me. This is the state that legalizes prostitution, gambling, and there were some other things as well. And I thought, you know what? Yeah, that was a good line.
I don't know if I agree.
Why?
Because I don't have a moral issue with gambling or prostitution. I think that it's your body, it's your money. You can do what you want to do with it.
Absolutely. It is your body, and you can do what you want with it. But also at the same time, here's a guy who has a guy that's, insulting his religion, his father, his culture, all this type of stuff. And here's a place that's so lenient on moral judgment, but they're going to come down like with the hammer and fine you $500,000.
It's hypocritical. It is.
It's bullshit.
But Khabib should know that it has nothing to do with morality, and it's a business, and they're trying to fucking get that money out of. It's their job to make money. It's a business, right? No matter what, it's all a business. Whether it's a government or a private-owned business, this is all. Everyone's out to sort of make some cash and line their pockets in whatever way they can, and it's not about morality.
Agreed.
It's not about them going, well, Khabib, you're a bad person. There's nothing there. It's about them greasing their palms and going, well, what can we get him for? And they did it, and he should, that's sort of just why it's very sentimental the way he puts it. It's a very like, to kind of put it that way. It sounds really good, but.
He portrays it from a very holier than thou perspective. End of the day, you did fly over the cage and start a riot. Let's be honest. There's two sides to every story. Your side is I was pushed and I was teased and all the rest of it, but sticks and stones may break your bones. The other side of it is like, hold on a minute, Khabib, you fucking dived over the fence, jumped into the crowd and started a goddamn riot. And
people could get hurt. There's so many,
Leonardo DiCaprio was right there, and I read a story online this morning where DiCaprio was with Khabib recently at a football match, soccer, and DiCaprio was like, "You nearly landed on top of me," And
wait, Khabib's hanging out with Leo? That's how famous Khabib's getting.
We had a picture together a while ago on Instagram, but I read a story this morning about a football match, soccer, and he said he was in the VIP section. He said there was tons of celebrities around, but the only one he recognized was Leonardo DiCaprio. And they got talking, and Leo said, "Hey, I was at your fight. You almost landed on top of me when you jumped over." And people were trying to ask him for pictures. And Khabib said he was surprised because DiCaprio said, "I don't do pictures," and people were getting turned down. He's like, "Listen, I'll take pictures for children, but for adults, I don't do pictures." And Khabib said he was a little surprised by that.
Yeah.
And I kind of understand it, if I'm honest. I mean, if you're Leonardo DiCaprio, one of the most famous people on the planet, I mean, I have had a minuscule 0.1% of what DiCaprio must endure on a daily basis everywhere he goes. And I guess after a certain while, I mean, there's two sides. After a certain time, you're like, listen, I just got to stop doing this. I'll shake your hand. I'll speak to you like a human being, but I'm not going to do pictures all the time. But when I was reading it, I said it to my wife, and my wife said, well, hold on a minute. But that kind of comes with the territory, So I don't know. Which side of the fence do you sit on?
It's weird because, I personally, I'm really, really appreciative of the people that support the things we do. So it's like when somebody wants to come and shake my hand or take a picture, or when somebody sends me a private message, I always try to respond. I always, even if somebody like, "Hey dude, I love the fucking show. You guys are awesome. You helped me get through my day at work." I'll always try to write, thanks, smiley face, even if it's something like that. So it maybe takes me a month sometimes to go through, and just because, I know the value there. I know there's real value. If without these people listening to these shows or coming out and seeing me at a comedy show, I don't have anything. I have no career. It's a dance, and they're the dance partner. But I also feel like, people have a right to the way they handle their business, and it's not, you're not. I'm not, there's that old quote by whoever the basketball player was. I'm sure Harrington, you know who it is, but he said, I'm not a role model, right? That's the quote. What is it?
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley. Pull up the actual quote. It's a great quote, but he talks about how he's not a role model. He was like, I'm an athlete. I'm a professional athlete. I do this very well, but the words I say and the things I do, it's not for kids to emulate. You know, just because you have talent or you have something that you do well or you have some content that you create that people enjoy, it doesn't necessarily mean you are now beholden to this public contract of having to stop and take a picture every time. I do it because that's who I am, but I would not fault somebody for not wanting to take the time to do it, especially if it starts to become a real, you know, a real factor in your life. Leonardo DiCaprio, if you walk down the street right now, would get mobbed. And yeah, the quote is, "I'm not a role model. Just because I dunk a basketball doesn't mean I should raise your kids."
Well,
sorry.
No, you're good. I was just going to say, regarding that quote and what you're talking about there with Charles Barkley, I mean, I get that, and he's right, but there is a certain responsibility when you get to a certain level, and then you are aware, you become cognizant that there is children at home that want to do what you do. There is children that dream of being a professional basketballer or a comedian or a UFC fighter and all the rest of it. And yeah, you might not be a role model. That might not be why you signed up to it, but you got to have the responsibility that what you do and how you behave and what you say does influence a lot of children. Now, you can say, hey, I'm not a fucking role model, okay? And be an asshole and send a bad message. Or you could be nice about it and say, well, I didn't sign up to be a role model, but it turns out accidentally and for whatever reason I am, and maybe I'll try and do some positivity with that. You know, and DiCaprio, I mean, as you said, if he walks down the street, you know, he'll get mobbed. Incidentally, I was in New York and I was walking in a nightclub. What was it called? Up and Down or something. I walked in there and he was there. As I'm walking in, DiCaprio got ushered in with, like, you know, some people. I was like, oh shit, there's DiCaprio. And then we had a table and he was at the table behind us. And I wanted so bad to go over, but yo, what's up, Leo? How you doing, man? Just want to say hi. But I didn't. I wasn't that guy, but I really wanted to, because come on, who doesn't love Leonardo? I mean, it started off with DiCaprio. He's, you know, he was like the pretty boy, and I wasn't a fan at all. But you cannot. But his movies, man, every movie this guy does, they're fucking incredible.
Mike, real quick, let's talk about CBDMD. You know what I found out? This is kind of crazy.
What?
Because I just got back into the gym and I'm working out again. CBD is really, really good for muscle recovery after a workout. I had no idea. And my muscles are so sore. I'm tearing into the muscle fibers. Every muscle in my body is aching right now. And I've been using the CBDMD Freeze on top as a topical, and it's making me feel so much better.
Well, use the Freeze, but also, I'm telling you, you want to try the Recover. The Recover product is fantastic. That's my go-to. I've got knee problems right now. I was talking to my doctor, you know. I'm telling you, though, when I use that Recover, it does, you know, help with the pain, and I'm able to still run it on a daily basis. That's why I look so good, Lewis. But if you like the BioFreeze or the Recover or anything like that, you know, CBDMD is a fantastic company. The best prices per milligram, the highest quality of CBD guaranteed, all grown in the USA. Best prices per milligram, as I said, and they got a variety of products as well. A lot of products. I mean, we talked about the BioFreeze. They got the Recover. They got all kinds of drops, and check it out. Bath bombs, however you want your CBD, and they have a great offer, Lewis.
Yes, they do. This is a really, really great offer. If you go to cbdmd.com, you pick up anything they have there. If you use the promo code BYM20, you save 20% off your initial order. So you could buy, you know, a huge order if you want. You could buy just one product and try them out if you want, but 20% off your entire order. Use that promo code BYM20. That lets them know that we sent you there. So once again, that is cbdmd.com. Great, amazing company that's doing a lot of amazing things for people. So go enjoy yourself and check out their products.